Yeah, back out on the creek again today. You can see most of that water that we had the other day is slowly dissipating through all the rocky ground, just disappearing under the surface. In hindsight, I probably should have come out the next day when there was plenty here, but I still have enough to high bank just. I'm struggling a bit with the high banker. You can see a lot of silt and that getting down into the pump there now, so it is a struggle. I'll do as much as I can. But the other day when I come out, I did manual on this wall here, and I think I ended up with 0.16, just under, something like that. And I did a bit of testing in here. I didn't get a lot out of there. So most of it was down along, sort of more towards the centre of the creek. So today I've come down a bit further here, and I'm working right in the centre. And you can see the shovel's fair way in there. It's pretty soft underneath, because as I said, all that water is soaked into the rocks, so it's made all the clay a lot softer, so I can get down through the clay layer into the bigger rock, and hopefully there's some gold sitting there. So I have done probably about 6 buckets so far. I am going to keep going in around it. You can see this here, this is a big solid rock. I'll show you that there, big solid rock. So I did try out on this side here. I thought, oh yeah, I'll follow it in there. I tested out there and I got nothing at all really. So I'd say when the water's come down, it's hit this rock and it's come to the inside rather than gone around that side. So in here seems to be pretty deep with clay and gravels. So I'm just going to keep going at that. Yeah, I'll probably do equivalent to about 10 buckets. I've still got a few hours of daylight, so we'll keep going and hopefully we can get a bit. Yeah, so pretty well finished up for the day now. I think I've got my 10. It felt like 10. If not, it's probably a bit under maybe, but around that. You can see I got down to that bedrock. A lot of this bedrock you can't see until you actually dig down to it and feel it with a shovel. So, you know, there could be more out here. There could be more up under me here. You just don't know till you start digging and find it. But when you find it, it's great because you can see the edges and that. If there's any gold comes down, you think it's just going to get caught before that, and then everything else will just wash over the top. So I dug down to that bedrock and all around the front of it. As I said, I tested out of here. Test pans didn't really show up much at all. I did a couple of tests in here and I've got a few specks, not much. So I don't know, the test pans didn't show up, but I've had that before. You know, you think you're not going to get much, you get home and you find a little bit, over a 0.1 or something like that, which is all right. But yeah, you can see you got down to that bedrock. One important thing you want to do when you get to that bedrock is get a bucket and rinse it off, because all your fine gold will just sit on top. You can't really scrape it off, so you basically just want to rinse it off down into the hole. I did have my yabby pump today. I did a little bit of it, but not too much, because all the rocks in there are like this. It just wasn't effective. The ground was soft enough I could just get my shovel in there and dig it out. So anyway, that's what I did there, and the pump was getting a bit silted up. I did bucket some water from up here down into here just to keep me going for a bit longer, but the jets normally block up. But I found a way around that. I bring out a spare set of jets with me, so I usually run these at each end. I think they're like, that's probably an 8mm hole, 5/16 or something if you're US. And then I've got one with probably 13, 14mm holes, or 9/16 or half inch in the old language. So that can get you out of trouble when you're starting to pump a lot of silt, because it's just so frustrating, the jets blocking up. You get a little stick in there and you try to keep them going. So it definitely slows the water flow down, but it still flows. So that's what you want. So, all right, I'm going to go wash it all up now. There's my cons there from probably, I don't know, close to 10 buckets, I think. So we'll go and wash that through. And yeah, hopefully we can get a bit. I dare say there's not enough water here when I come back next. So it's not going to be high bankable. And I hate filling buckets with wet mud too. I'd rather it completely dry or really wet and flooded. So there's sort of no in-betweens here for me. But plenty of other spots to try, so we can always just go and do that. All right, we'll go wash it up. Yeah, hopefully we've got some.